BS Show, Season 4, Episode 4. Sean Gancars with Justin Chasmore and Adam Tyne. As always, we are 1 week in, boys. And as always, we may have had a terrible start to the season. The 2-7 in the locks is not an ideal start. Notorious slow starters for us, but we usually tend to bounce back as the season gets going. It's only week 1. We're going to try not to overreact too much, but with that said, guys, your feelings and reactions.
Well, the only highlight to this week for me was beating Gank in the bet. And even then, the G-Men's offensive line looked so bad. And for some reason, I decided to draft Saquon in a couple leagues. So not even that good for me, but we'll take the W against Gank.
Yeah, it was an interesting week 1. And I think week 1, you have to tread with light water in light water when it comes to betting, because every NFL season brings something new. That's why I took the Texans. It was week 1, but I mean, luckily it hit for us. But I think once we got a week down, we saw some things that maybe we didn't think we would have seen. But excited to get back on track week 2.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we even got an extra week in the regular season this year, so next week could be big. It's like I said, we're usually strong at the end of the season, but once again, it's only week 2. Which means we ain't worried about bye weeks yet. We got a full slate of games coming into the week. As always, we're going to start with Thursday night. Fortunately for the people, we don't have Gonzo this week. Chaz, you're down in Florida. Big week. Adam, let's give it up. We got an engaged man on the show. Congrats to Justin Chasmore here. There he is. So, big week for him. We'll allow Gonzo the week off because of that. Don't worry. We'll be back next week. I'll promise that. But luckily for you guys, my Giants are starting Thursday night this week. So here we go, Giants. As Adam already mentioned, I mean, it usually doesn't take long for Adam to talk shit about the Giants into the show. As mentioned, not the most ideal start us Giant fans were expecting week 1. A brutal loss to the Broncos. Winnable game that they just did not really look that great in any end whatsoever. I mean, Sterling Shepard, the lone bright side of that team. But now they head into Washington on a short week, Thursday night. Chance to kind of get it right back. It's only week 2, obviously. Like I said, I'm not the overreact too much. Giants 3-point underdogs on the road here. Over under very low at 40 and a half. And I'm just going to come out right off the bat. We know Ryan Fitzpatrick ain't playing this game for Washington. This Washington defense that's been getting a lot of praise kind of got beat up pretty well by the Chargers. Chargers had no problem moving the ball here. Giants 3-point underdogs. There's a lot of question marks for both these teams going to this game. But with this said, I am going to take Danny Dimes and the Giants and the one team I trust him against the most, and that's against Washington. He has yet to lose to this team. There is one team that Danny Dimes knows how to beat, and it's the Washington football team. So I'm going to find a way for the Giants, get in Washington possibly at the right time with that Fitzpatrick injury to maybe get a win, maybe save a season somewhat before it even really starts. The Giants have yet to hold a winning record at any point during the regular season since 2016. So that's just an ugly thought to begin with. But yeah,
they've had a winning record in 5 years.
They haven't had a winning record at any part in the season since 2016.
That's awesome.
So it is not pretty for the Giants. But like I said, they had a winnable game. They didn't show up in at home, but Danny Dimes, he beats his team. He's done it numerous times. And Washington, they're man down at quarterback. So I'm just going to hold hope here. As a gambler, I don't really see myself touching this game, but I'm going to take the Giants to find a way. Daniel Jones finds a way to keep beating this team. Giants do it on the road and give themselves a little hope going into week 3 to maybe see a winning record for the first time. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think it's Atlanta who was pretty bad in week 1 too, that following week. Giants on the road here, 20-17.
I only agree with really one statement Garrick just said there, and it was that this is kind of a stay away game. Divisional games, especially in the NFC East, are always like that for me. I don't love to bet it. first of all. That being said, Gank, I don't think I'll pick the Giants to beat anyone who has a good defense, especially a good front seven, because what you saw last week was just simply they got beat in the trenches. I don't think the Broncos are that much better of a team than them. I don't think the Broncos played exceptionally well. I thought the Giants defense played pretty well, and with a better offense would have held them to less points. But man, I just don't see how they're going to beat a good front seven in Washington and block Chase Young for that matter. I mean, that's good that Danny Dimes could beat the Skins, the Washington football team. I didn't know that he had that good of a record, but that doesn't really concern me. Let's pick Taylor Heineke to get a nice little dub at home on Thursday night. Football team wins, football team covers in an ugly, low-scoring game, 2016 Washington.
Points are a premium. Yeah, I'm gonna take the football team too. I was high on them before the year. I picked them last week. And I mean the Giants. Yeah, the Washington football team defense didn't look great last week, but that was also the Chargers offense. That's not New York Giants offense. So let's be easy with that, Gang. So I think on a short week, Washington football team being home here, I think defense is going to come ready to play. Obviously, no Fitz is a big loss, but we saw Taylor Heineke play last year well enough to win some games for that team. So I expect the defense to play well. I expect him to make enough plays. A lot of Antonio Gibson on Thursday night. Give me the football team 21-10.
10 points for the G-men. Whew.
I think Gibson get hurt too.
He did, but he's
I think
okay.
he's okay, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was a shoulder injury, but he practiced fully too.
Hate to say it. All right, game 2. Las Vegas traveling to Pittsburgh. Raiders 5.5-point underdogs on the road here. Over under 46.5. Chaz, you got to witness this team last night firsthand in what was an incredible game. Tough loss for your Ravens, obviously, but I mean, they gave us a game that could be one of the best games of the year, if not the best game of the year in week 1 right off the bat. You saw them first half, first start of the season here. Now they're going to your division rival on the road against Pittsburgh. Based off what you saw yesterday, do the Raiders have a shot in this one?
I think they do. I think yesterday, obviously, first game in Vegas, we knew it was going to be rocking there, and it clearly was. Crazy game, obviously heartbreaker as a Raven fan, but I think Derek Carr obviously loves him some Darren Waller. What do you have, like 20 targets yesterday? But I think the bigger thing here is the Steelers and the performance they had mainly in the second half against the Bills. Pretty ugly first half from them, but then they came out in the second half and really dominated and went into Buffalo and beat them. And obviously that's not an easy task when you have Josh Allen and Buffalo faithful behind them. So I think as well as the Raiders played here, I think obviously a huge win. Vegas probably partied all night last night. This kind of feels like the hangover game. Traveling to Pittsburgh, really good defense. I think Pittsburgh's going to come out ready to play. Derek Carr's not going to throw for 430-something yards like he did yesterday. I'm going to take the Steelers to win and cover this game. Hope I'm wrong. Hope the Raiders can go win another game. But I'll take the Steelers 28-21.
I don't think there's a team I'm worse at betting at than the Raiders the past 2-3. I feel like every time I lock against them, they win. And every time I lock them, they get blown out. I don't know what it is. So maybe don't listen to this Raiders thing. But no, I think the Raiders have a chance to cover this spread. I think it'll be close to that number. I don't think they're going to go in Pittsburgh and win. Jazz, I like what you said about how that's a big home game first week. I think that game is completely different in Baltimore. Derek Carr is a good player, good Q, but he's feeding off the energy, and it was absurd end to that game. Absolutely incredible. Again, could call one of the best of the year probably. But I think the Steelers showed something going into Buffalo. They are legit. That defense is for real. And I'm not going to pick against them until somebody really shows me that they can put up points against that defense. And I think the Steelers are going to run the ball. Najee Harris bounces back, has a big game. And I will take the Steelers to win here 27-17.
Yeah, I'm with all two guys on this Pittsburgh train here right now. I know I said I don't want to overreact too much. And if there's one thing I'm really going to overreact about, it's the fact that I think the Steelers, after what I saw for them, are going to be, by the time we get to the end of the season, this team's going to be a legit Super Bowl contender. That defense is no joke. What they did to Buffalo in Buffalo, just to shut down that offense, really limit Josh Allen, that team, and, put it all together and get the win. Ben Roethlisberger stays healthy. He's got a bunch of weapons there he can work with. Najee Harris, tough rookie debut, but I think he get it going. We've seen Raven running backs have some success last night against the Raiders. I think Najee's going to find some success against them too. That Steelers offense stays healthy, stays clicking. With that vet quarterback in Ben, someone who's been there before and done it, they have a defense that's definitely talented enough to, go up there as one of those signature legendary defenses. And it's early, it's bold. It's my biggest overreaction from week one. But I'll say it, I think Pittsburgh's going to be a legit Super Bowl contender this year. I might have seen what I just needed to see from that defense to confirm that. Adam, I'm with you. Very similar score. I had the Steelers 28-17.
They look real good.
Yeah.
It took him a half to wake up, or the offense.
Yeah.
The offense. The defense held them 3 points in the first half.
Yeah.
10 points, they look pretty filthy in the second half.
That defense is so good. If the offense stays healthy, why can't Ben lead that team to the Super Bowl with that defense? It's but we get it. Just makes the AFC North, which we knew would be tough this year, actually that much tougher, probably.
Yeah.
Speaking of the AFC North, Adam, your Bears get to see one of the teams. Cincinnati Bengals, big last-second overtime win against Minnesota week one. They were 1-0. Your Bears, kind of what we expected Sunday night. We weren't expecting much, and we didn't get much against the Rams, but they do come out 3-point favorites at home here against the Bengals. Over-under sitting at 45.5. I don't know, the Bears going to bounce back in an Andy Dalton revenge game.
Andy Dalton revenge game. You're right. A lot of what we expected last week. It got ugly towards the end, but of course the Bears kept it kind of close. I don't know what happened with the defense. It looked horrible, but I think that might be a little more of just the Rams being that good. I like the Bears to bounce back this week. I think this is a must-win game for them. They see that. And to be fair to their offense, they moved the ball. It was just so typical of Andy Dalton to move the ball and then crunch time, third down in the red zone, throws a pick. I mean, it's just, you can't throw that ball. And that is probably going to be the reason he loses his job in a couple of weeks when they host Detroit week 4. That's the prediction. Justin Fields' first game. I think the Bears bounce back this week. The Bengals played a good game. It was a good one from the win. I told you they'd beat the Vikings. Nobody on this show listened, but what are you going to do? I like the Bears to bounce back. I think their defense has a statement game at home because I don't think last week was what they are. And I like them by a touchdown here, and I think it's a big win for them. I'll go 24-17 Chicago.
I'm with you on this one. I'm actually going to pick the Bears to win. You know me, I feel like I'm not the best pick in the Bears, but I tried keeping the Bears afloat as long as I could last season.
You did. Got to give them credit.
Yes.
Eventually,
you tried hard.
Yep.
Eventually, you have to turn on them. Adam, as a Bears fan, I'm sure you know this. Maybe one day I'll learn. I ain't going to learn right now, though, because I am going to take the Bears. I'm big on their defense also. I still am. Matt Stafford, and that offense just clicked better than I thought for the Rams. Not even better than I thought, more so faster than I thought. I wasn't ready to see all that from them week one, especially against the Bears defense. I thought it might take a few weeks for that to get into a groove. And, once you get into midseason down the stretch, it'd be full go, and that team would be legit, as they probably will be all season. But I don't know. I still trust the Bears defense. Bengals did pull out that big win at home. As you guys said last week, it was, one of those winnable games that they got it. But this is still going to be a lot for Joe Burrow to handle. Bears, as you said, Adam, did move the ball. They should be able to move the ball against this Cincy team, and the defense should do enough for them to win this game. I got a little closer than you, and I got it slightly under, but Bears winning and covering 24-20.
probably not a good thing, but I'm with you guys. I think the Bears.
Oh, boy.
I think the Bears win here and cover too. Although we did say this last week with the Birds when we all took the Birds and the Birds ended up winning outright. So
Yeah, that's true.
I'm with the Bears here too. I think last week the Bengals big emotional win. I think Burrow obviously back from injury at home, overtime winner, huge win for them. Obviously getting off to a good start. Joe Mixon actually looked pretty damn good. Of course, the 1 year I don't draft him in any fantasy leagues, but I will say I think we got what we expected from Chicago. But like you guys said, I think it's more of a testament to LA than a knock on the Bears defense. I expect them to come back strong here. As much as we joke about Andy Dalton revenge game, if you don't think he wants to play well this week, you're out of your mind. Especially at home, he knows his job is pretty close to being over. He's going to want to go out and beat his old squad. So I'm going to take the Bears here to win and cover. I'm going to go 27-21 Bears.
Adam, does that make you feel good?
Yeah, I mean, I do feel confident about the Bears this week. Plus, we all knew they were going to get killed last week, kind of. I mean, yeah, this is really a must-win game for them. I mean, they're at Cleveland next week, so I don't think they want to start 0-3.
Outside of that game, it's a 21 point third quarter that fucked the under.
Yeah, that is. I mean, the one time the Bears defense.
It went over by 2 points, and half those points were in the third quarter. It was just tough.
Yeah,
but
the Bears secondary just decided not to cover anyone, so that's good. Yeah, good strategy.
Also, that helped that when there was 0 points, and then I go outside and come back in my room 5 minutes later, not even, all of a sudden Matt Stafford throwing 75-yard touchdown passes on the first drive. I'm like, not ideal.
Let's go to the next game. Let's go to the next game.
Hey, we're on the Bears this week. All right. Next game, Chaz, I'm going to come to you first on this one. So you had the confidence to step in and take it last week, and now let's see how you follow it up. But it's the Houston Texans again in Cleveland. Texans 12.5-point road dogs here, over under 48.5. The Jaguar game that we were all scared to look at or even touch, you stepped in. You kind of started the train rolling for the Texans. Back through there, hit it right on the head. How are we going to pick them this week?
Yeah, I mean, I was really confident last week. I'm not going to lie. I was real confident. This week's obviously a little different because it's the Browns. Browns probably should just beat the Chiefs. 12.5 is a lot of points in the NFL. I mean, obviously, I'm going to take the Browns to win. I think I'm going to take the Texans to cover, though.
As these Texans.
I really think, like I said, anything over 10 in the NFL, I think, is big. And I think there's going to be a lot of overreaction on the Browns last week with that game with the Chiefs. And I mean, deservingly so. They came out, played really well, and then obviously blew it at the end. But I believe in Tyrod Taylor. I'm a Tyrod Taylor guy. I think last week he played well. Obviously, he led that team. They put up 27 points. Obviously, the Jaguars' defense isn't too great. But at the end of the day, I think 12.5 is a lot of points in the NFL for a Texans team that, I mean, we said before the year that they were going to be bad. But with Tyrod, I mean, obviously you saw Brandon Cooks, Mark Ingram had like 25 carries. Philip Lindsay got in the end zone. They kind of just pieced it together. So whether it's a late touchdown to backdoor cover, I just am always scared to go over that 10 number, especially when Tyrod's on the other team. So I'll back Tyrod for one more week. Maybe I'll look like a fool this week. But I'll go 30-20 Browns.
Guys, I might start a trend of picking you with the Texans. I agree. 12.5 is too much. I think we're going to see something with the Texans this year. Yes, it's one game, but offensively, I've looked at their squad and they actually have an okay offense. They have some dudes that can play. They got right. I mean, Tyrod has been able to put up points. I don't know how great the Browns defense is. It looked good, but that was also against the Chiefs, so it's hard to read. I got a similar score to you. I don't have much on this game. I actually really like the over. I think Cleveland's going to put up a lot of points on the Texans' date. I don't think it's very good. But I will take the Texans to cover here, and I'll take the Browns to win at home. I'll go 31-20 Cleveland.
All right, this is where we're going to disagree. Traz, I backed your Texans last week. No, hit it right on, and it worked. That obviously good pick on our end, but just wanted to back off and turn the other way on you guys. Yes, we liked the Texans to win last week. Yes, they got the win, but we said, just the way the games matched up. You're playing a rookie quarterback making his first career start, a head coach making his first start in the NFL, who rumors swirling may go right back to college before this season ends. I doubt it, but it's possible. And just a Jaguar team that I think will be good in the near future within the next 2 or 3 years, but obviously wasn't ready for their first game together and against Tyrod. And, someone that's been there, played opening day plenty of times before, but now it's a different story for Houston. Now you got to go on the road against a Cleveland team that, has been together for a few years now, could just pound the ball down your throat running it. Next best rushing team in football behind your Ravens, Chaz. And a defense that is way better than Jacksonville's over there. Adam, as you said, Cleveland's defense maybe didn't look the best, but it was the Chiefs. I still have a lot of faith in this defense. I think it could look very good this year. I think our Texans at home are a team that can look very good against. They are not happy coming into this game after that loss to Kansas City. They definitely want to get a win right here. They see a chance to do it. I think Cleveland runs it down their throats. I think Houston struggles to move the ball, and I don't even think this game's close. Giving the Browns 31-14.
Could easily see that happen.
I will say I am nowhere even close to as confident with them getting 12.5 that I was than +3 last week. So
yeah. No, I was actually confident in them winning last week too. But
I was that was my one ride or die of the week.
Just ride or die. Yanks are up 7-1, top 9, by the way. So that bet's looking good.
That's free money at that point. Although the Yankees blown this, but that was against the Angels, which still ain't saying much. But I've seen them blow this year. By the way, Vlad Guerrero is like plus 1,400 to win the AL MVP. Over Shohei Ohtani is like minus 5,000. You want to take your shot, take Vlad right now. Wow. All right, Adam, the team your Bears face, the Rams here, -4 on the road in Indy, over under 47.5. We kind of talked about the Colts a little bit pre-show, brought up Carson Wentz for a quick, 10, 15 seconds. Not the best start, obviously, for the Colts. The loss to Seattle. The Colts defense is something that I've been praising since last year and at the start of this season. They came out somewhat flat. Russell Wilson kind of was able to do whatever he wants against them. No, it is Russell Wilson that is maybe a little unfair to their defense, but he was able to get his wherever and whenever he wanted. Chris Carson, even on the ground, was close to rushing for 100 yards. So no matter what, throwing, running, that Colts defense is kind of getting beat left and right. And now you got this Rams team that, as we just talked about, Adam, played your Bears, which is another defense, you really can't talk down on too much at all. And they found a way to move the ball. So Rams 4-point favorites on the road here. I like this number, and I actually like the over 47.5 because based off what I saw the Rams do, they gave me the full confidence that, this whole Matt Stafford thing can work, and this team's going to score points. They almost remind me of the AFC version of the Steelers, an offense that has some vets that if they click, they have a defense that could push them a long way this season. So I think I'll be a big Rams guy almost all year long. I'm definitely going to be a fan of them early where a lot of people don't know expectations. I think their lines are a little lower than normal. So give me the Rams -4 on the road here. And I think I'm going to have this game go over because I see Matt Stafford continuing to score points for this. I got the Rams 31-20.
Yeah, Gank, I'm with you here. This hurts me because these are two of my teams, as you guys know, have been the past few years. My boy Carson, but I think Colts might be in for a slow start. The offense was a little sluggish. I don't think their defense is in too much trouble. Seattle's a really good offense. Obviously, Russell Wilson's legit. And I will say this, the Rams, you can run the ball, the Rams. The Bears had success, and the Colts are dedicated to the run. So that is one thing that scares me about this. But I love the over as well. And I mean, Rams offense with a quarterback playing really well has really never been stopped. And the only reason it was because Jared Goff started to just unfold. So I'm going to take the Rams to win here. I'm going to take them to cover. I don't know if the Colts are ready to hit their stride yet. And from what I saw from the Rams, I mean, they put up a lot of points pretty easily against, I think, a good Bears defense. So I like the over as well. But I think LA kind of cruises this one. I'm going to go 30-23 Rams.
Yeah, I'm gonna end up being with you guys. I think this game is gonna be close though. Obviously, I don't think any of us expected as quickly, like you guys said, this Rams offense to gel. Matthew Stafford looked fantastic in a Rams uniform and really got everyone involved in that passing game. I think when you look at the Colts, I was off them last week just because I didn't think Carson Wentz was going to be ready because he missed a lot of the preseason. And he did come out slow. I think one more week obviously is going to help him. I think getting a game under his belt will help him. That's why I think this game stays close. I really want to take them to cover the 4 because I could see a 3-point game here. But I mean, the Rams, they just look like they're going to be a serious problem this year. And until Carson Wentz can actually prove something in a Colts uniform, I'm not going to pick against this Rams team that we just saw give it to the Bears, who, like we said, has a good defense. So I will take the Rams to win and cover. I'll go 33-20.
Let's go Rams. That might be my guys this year.
Join the trade.
May ride the Rams a lot this year.
Like that.
There we go. Let's see how much you're still fading here. Your Dolphins, 3.5-point home dogs. 3.5-point home dogs, the Dolphins. 2 Buffalo, over under 47.5. Tell you what, they came out strong. Big week 1 win. Can they follow it up with another divisional win?
Yeah, I mean, I really am starting to fade the Fins, and I'm going to fade them this week. You know, I was real confident in the Pats. I thought they were going to win that game for sure. I mean, they were, a fumble away from possibly getting in the end zone and winning that game. But I don't see Buffalo starting the season 0-2. I think Buffalo lost a tough one to the Steelers, but they see this as a must win. And I think, frankly, Miami should have lost that game. They just got lucky with that fumble. Give credit to their defense. Miami's defense is for real. Don't get me wrong. But Tua against Josh Allen, I like Josh Allen way more. So I'm going to pick them to win this game. I don't think it really matters much that it's in Miami. I think Buffalo comes back, statement game. They got a little something to prove. I don't see him starting 0-2. And I like him to cover here. And I think Tua struggles. I'm going to go 27-20 Buffalo.
I'm going to pick Buffalo to win, but I'm going to use this hook to Miami's advantage here and probably have Miami covering in this one. Like I said, I mean, what I saw from Buffalo, that's tough defense in Pittsburgh. They played an underachieving offense I saw last week. Josh Allen is to come out firing, I do believe, but needless to say, Miami's defense can still make some plays and probably make enough plays to keep them in this. You already know I'm not a big Tua guy at all. Still not bought into him, but he really did not have the worst game against the New England defense that I would still take over Buffalo's defense any day of the week right now. And coming at home here, I think he could do enough to score some points and hang in there with this Bills team. I actually see this game going back and forth. But when it's all said and done, Josh Allen, like you said, Adam, Josh Allen should make more plays than Tua to win this game. But Miami has enough to stay in this, especially at home. They'll keep it close. Bills win. Dolphins cover 27-24 Bills.
I missed, what's the over under this game?
47.5.
I'm gonna side with AT here. I'm gonna take the Bills to cover. I think obviously I was on the Pats last week personally. And Damian Harris in a fantasy league, and that fumble obviously was just a killer for them. You do have to give credit to Miami going into Foxborough, winning that game. Obviously they went against a rookie quarterback in his first career start. I think you got to put that into account. But I think now you have Josh Allen and some Super Bowl favorites in the Bills now coming into town who just lost and looked pretty bad in the loss, coming to obviously get their first win of the year. I think this Bills team, if they're going to be a Super Bowl contender, they have to come down to Miami and take care of business. Obviously, the 3.5, that half point is a big hook. But I think they're going to come down. I think they're going to. Unfortunately, I'm going against Josh Allen this week in fantasy, but I expect him to have a big bounce back game this week. I think the Bills click on all cylinders, get their first win. I'm not buying into Tua either. He obviously didn't play too bad last week, and I think the Dolphins surprised some of us, but I think the Bills are just going to be too much this week. I do like the over though as well. I'm going to go 31-21 Bills.
I have a feeling the Dolphins will be a team I'm wrong about all year. So I'm just never really get a read on them.
They're a
The
tough team to
Dolphins-
read, man.
They are. What Chaz has with the Falcons or whatever, I don't know. Me and the Dolphins are not going to get along this year, I don't think.
Hey, I'm 1-0 picking against the Falcons this year.
There you go, Bull.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I remember you almost took the Falcons. I remember.
Oh, I
You
wanted to.
Yeah.
All right. Staying in the division here with the AFC East. New England traveling to MetLife. Jets 5.5-point underdogs at home here. Over unders 42.5. And I tell you what, my guy Zach Wilson, honestly didn't do enough to get the win against Carolina, but for a first career start, I like what I saw from him. Made some throws. Looks like he may have a connection with Corey Davis. One of the Jets' bigger signs this offseason. Bolster up that wide receiver room, try to give Zach Wilson some weapons. And the Jets defense that, a lot of people I don't think really know about is going to be somewhat decent this year. I think the Jets defense has talent. 5.5 is a pretty big number here. I do think Mac Jones is going to come out and get his first career win here, but I see enough for the Jets to. I'm not going to buy this team at all this year or tell you you're going to win a ton of games, but I do think the Jets have a good enough defense to compete, and I think Zach Wilson is good enough to keep them in games too, and where they'll stay in games. Home opener for him. This crowd's going to be fired up. First time fans will be in MetLife in a long time. Give me the Jets to cover the 5.5. Give me the Patriots to win the game, though. Over under 42.5. I have this one a little lower scoring, 17-14 Pats.
Yeah, gang. I mean, I'm right there with you with the spread. I think 5.5 is too much. The Jets are going to keep games way more competitive than they have. Not hard to beat. But, I think they're going to be in games this year. I really believe that. Zach Wilson, I haven't been the biggest fan, but he didn't put up too many points. But I kind of believe in the Jets D with Robert Saleh calling the plays and, being the guy there. So, and Mac Jones didn't show me enough in that Patriots offense to think that they're going to be explosive enough to beat this team by a touchdown. In New York's big for me here. I got more points than you. I think both rookie QBs do okay. But I like the Patriots to win. I think the Jets end up covering, though. I'm going to go 20-17 New England.
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. I'm going to take the Jets too. I think
Jets, oh boy.
I'm bigger on the Jets this year as well, and I think I could be wrong, but I think we were all on the Panthers to cover last week. I think I know at least me and AT were, but I think the Jets. I mean, if you look at that game last week against the Panthers, if they just don't give up a 60-yard touchdown to Robbie Anderson, and if Christian McCaffrey is not on the field with 190 all scrimmage yards. Obviously the Patriots don't have a player like that. So I think the Patriots, I don't think they're going to be a team that is going to light up the scoreboard. They're going to play games that probably get into the 20s, low 20s, and play defense and win games that way. I think the Jets can hang in there and keep this game close. I like the 5.5 this week for the Jets, so I'm going to take the Jets not to win. Although I wouldn't be shocked if they do. I think Mac Jones comes in and gets his first win, though. I will take the Jets to lose a close one at home, 21-17.
Should be a fun one. McCaffrey is a running back who didn't score a touchdown and had 28 fantasy points in the PPR league.
It's crazy.
I miss that, man, so much.
Must be nice. Travis had him at the worst year possible last year.
I got him in my brother's league though this year, so we're good.
Yeah, that's good to see.
Nice.
All right. Another pre-show game we talked about here, and this one's interesting. Let's see who wants to volunteer for this one first. But Travis, our Niners Eagles game, as talked about pre-show, Niners 3.5-point favorites on the road, over under 50.5. The Eagles were the one team we couldn't believe we all picked last week. Honestly, worked out for us. Anyone want to step up and say they're following up with Philly again this week?
I am not going to say I'm following up again with Philly. I will say this game does scare me because Philly's at home off a big win. I am sure that place will be rocking. And, you know, Jimmy G scares me. But, I mean, they put up a lot of points. I think last week against the Lions was just a case of they were up big. I don't think that's an indication of the defense they have. Mostert got hurt already, which just you hate to see for the guy. I mean, Jesus. But I think the Niners come in. I think the Philly keeps this close. I see it as a touchdown or less game, but I like the Niners to come in and cover. I don't know if, you know, this is a completely different defense than the Atlanta Falcons defense and offense that they just don't have the guys. And the Niners are a very talented team. I think Shanahan's a good coach. And I'm going to take the Niners to win and cover here. But I do see this being a close game. I like Jalen Hurts. He's going to keep them in games all year, I think. But I'll go San Francisco and a little bit lower scoring. I'll take the under 27-20.
Yeah, I'm with you, Adam, on almost everything you said. I really agree with completely. I just look at this game. I do think the 49ers just got comfortable last week, which kind of let Detroit get back into it. We know that's not the Niners. We know that's not that defense. And the Eagles just came out more ready week one and beat a Falcon team that we all know has a chance to be weak this year and just may be very weak. So with that said, I think all around Niners are better. You mentioned the Mostert injury. The Niners kind of just that offensive line, the way that team's built and the way they run. It almost seems like they're one of those teams. It doesn't matter who you throw at running back. They're going to be able to run the ball well there. I think they'll continue to run the ball well. And I'm actually big with you. I actually love the under in this game at 50.5. I think that's one of those inflated week two numbers. We saw the Eagles score a lot of points, but it was against a rather shitty Falcons defense, to say the least. And we obviously saw San Fran score a lot of points, and that was against the Lions. So I don't know if it's saying much against those defenses, but we see two teams that score a lot of points, and we see a number inflated. I know I'm pretty confident the 49ers defense can still be very good. And I think the Eagles have a strong suit. It's actually their defense over their offense enough where they could maybe slow down the 49ers offense a bit. So I do love the under, and I'm going to take the 49ers to win this game and cover it 21-17.
Yeah, this might be a heart pick for what I want to happen, but I'm going to take the Niners with the S too. I think Birds fans need to just come back down to realization that the Falcons are just a really bad football team. And like I said, I watched that entire game here, and with, you know, give the Birds credit. They came out and played a good football game, but I think this is going to be a big test. Obviously, the link is going to be wild on Sunday. Obviously, Jalen Hurts era starting there and them coming off of week one win. I think it's going to be a big test, obviously, for Hurts against his defense, but also their defense that I told you guys before that looked like the best defense that was ever on the football field against the Falcons, against this offensive line, against this run game with the Niners, and against Jimmy G, who got the ball in the receiver's hands last week, especially Deebo Samuel. So, and they also obviously got to watch out for George Kittle. So I think the Birds are going to come back down to reality a little bit. I do think this game will stay close, but I think at the end of the day, the Niners do enough to pull away late and end up covering this. So I'm going to take the Niners to win in Philly 28-20.
We're all liking the under too.
I hope it goes over because that means Hurts going to have a big day.
Have a good day with 20.
Yeah, I mean, he runs so much that like he can still put up a good number no matter what, you know.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. All right, MC South battle here. Adam, your Panthers, as mentioned.
Whoa. I guess I like both of these teams, honestly.
As you mentioned, you like both these teams.
That's
so
fair.
You said you may be on that my Panthers may become your Panthers this year. And we know you're a Saints guy too. So now you got to pick one here, but Panthers 3.5-point underdogs at home here, over under 44.5. We honestly saw a completely different Saint team, new quarterback with Jameis Winston coming out, and it looks like it worked week one. But like I said, it's week one, and we're not overreacting this week. But Adam, how much are you buying with that Saint team, and how are we feeling coming into Carolina here?
I mean, I like both teams, like you guys said. NFC South games are tough to call. They can, any team can win that. But I've been big on the Saints since pre-show and the playoffs. I couldn't be more happy what they did to the Packers last week. It was fantastic. And I'm on them again. I think 3.5 is way too close here. The Panthers did win at home against the Jets, but I mean, you're talking about Sean Payton's offense and the Saints, who still have talented guys going into Carolina. And I think that they win this game. And I think the Saints cover almost with ease. Over under 44.5 seems a bit low to me because I feel like Jameis, if anything, is going to put up points here. And I think the Panthers as well can put up points. But I like New Orleans this year. I like them again, coming off a big win, momentum, build some confidence. I don't know if you guys saw Jameis's post-game interview, but it was pretty funny. He just didn't remember what the guy told him.
Be prepared. Be prepared.
Yeah, and seeing him in a suit post-game just cracked me up. It's hysterical. I'm on the Saints. I think they win here, and I think Carolina falls to 1-1. New Orleans stays 2-0, and keeps building confidence and feeds Alvin Kamara. Good for Chazzy. So I like the Saints here. I do like the over, but I'll go 28-21 New Orleans.
Yeah, we're gonna be flipped on this one. Here's one of my upsets of the week, and I'm gonna take the Panthers to win this game outright at home. Actually, I feel like the Saints are one of those teams, as I mentioned last game about the over/under. I think this is one of those very inflated lines right here with the Saints minus 3.5. If they come out great against a Green Bay team. I think they kind of just caught Green Bay a little bit unprepared. Green Bay, not really knowing what to expect with this team with Jameis and a new quarterback and all that. But Panthers see this team every year, obviously. And, Adam, you said NFC South games tough to call, but I don't think the Saints are as good as what we saw from them last week. Like I said, I think they caught Green Bay flat. I do think the Saints are one of the teams that will be borderline playoff push into the season, but they are not good what I saw from them last week. And maybe this Panther team, Adam, that you said you may steal from me, they may not be as bad as I thought this year. I'm still not expecting much, but I'm just going to catch what I think is an inflated line. I still think these two teams are going to be very equal as the season goes on in terms of skill and record-wise. So I'm going to try to call Vegas on the upset here. Give me the Panthers to win outright. I'm going to go a half-point under 24-20.
Gank, I'm very surprised you just did that because I'm doing the same thing as you. I think the Panthers win this game too. I said before last week I'm big on Sam Darnold. I think a fresh start is going to be good for his career. Obviously, he got his win over the Jets. Probably felt fantastic for him and Robbie Anderson. I think this is a big inflated line too. I think people are going to see this and say, well, the Saints just beat one of the best teams in the NFC by 30 points. They're obviously going to go in Carolina and win. I think Carolina, though, is a better team than I think people give them credit for. I'm like Gank. I'm not super high on the Saints this year. Obviously, big Kamara fan. I think Jameis threw 5 touchdowns and 150 passing yards. Obviously not going to happen again this week. I'm going to take the Panthers here at home to pull off the upset too. I'm with you, Gank. So I'll take the Panthers 24-23.
Yeah, I was not ready for you to follow up with that too. I like it.
I didn't see that one coming either, actually.
I like it. All right, Denver coming off an easy week 1 win in MetLife to the Giants. That was 6 point. Denver all of a sudden 6-point road favorites over under 45.5. I'm going to be honest, I cannot remember the last time Denver was 6-point favorites on the road. It's probably been a while for them. But hey, they came out looking good. With that said, I do think Denver's going to start off 2-0 here. I'm actually going to take Jacksonville to cover this +6. We talked about this Jaguar-Texan game last week as we came into it. we said this Jaguar team was new. We don't know what to expect, but they got a game under the belt. It took a while, and maybe it was garbage time. I don't know. But towards the end, when you look at the game, Trevor Lawrence still put up pretty decent numbers. The 3 picks is a problem, especially against this Denver defense that has a pretty loaded secondary, but still threw for over 303 touchdowns. And Denver, big injury blow to Jerry Jeudy right there. He's playing pretty good, and they still have weapons there. Cortland Sutton's still there. KJ Hamler's still there. Tim Patrick's still there. There are other options there. Noah Fant. But Jacksonville at home, this crowd gets to see this team finally. I imagine this has to be the quarterback Jacksonville is probably most excited to ever see. So maybe they could even show out and bring a little noise to this. Denver's have enough on defense to win, but I did see enough from Lawrence to believe that this team can score points and hang in there. Give me the Broncos to win, Jaguars to cover here. I'll go 27-23.
Yeah, I mean, Gang, I don't disagree with you. I'm going to take the Broncos to cover here, but I could easily see Jacksonville either backdoor cover or keeping it close enough because I'm not sure Denver's offense is really good enough to blow them out. And the Jags, Trevor Lawrence is going to get better. I don't think it's this week, though. This is a tough – Denver's defense is for real. And it wasn't just because the Giants' offense is bad. They're just that good. I mean, Von Miller back. Bradley Chubb may be coming back. I don't know if he'll come back this week. But I think Trevor Lawrence struggles again. And I think Denver's defense carries him to another victory and just covers here. Could be a backdoor one coming in towards the end of the game. But I really think Trevor Lawrence still struggles and Denver wins here pretty easily. I'll go 24-17 Denver.
And Ganker on the same page tonight. I'm with Ganker. I'm going to take the Jags, and obviously I faded them hard last week, but I think 6 is a lot, and I like Denver. I do. I said their defense is very legit, but I think Gank obviously hit it. This is probably the most anticipated home opener the Jags have had in probably since the year after they lost in the AFC Championship. Obviously the number 1 pick. This is the most excited they've been for a quarterback since Blake Bortles himself. But I think the Jags here, obviously a horrible game against a horrible team in the Texans who we think are going to be horrible. I just think that 6 is a lot of points. I think it's low scoring. I think the Jaguars, if they want to keep it close, they're going to have to use James Robinson this week. Sounds crazy, I know, but they just simply didn't use him last week. They got to get him involved early. They got to make Denver respect the run game to open things up for Trevor Lawrence. I think on the Denver side, obviously Jerry Jeudy's big blow. They also put Ronald Darby, who's their third corner, but I mean that's still a big blow to their secondary. So obviously if Chubb doesn't play again, but I'm going to take Jacksonville to cover the 6. I'm going to take Denver to win. Obviously, I'm not getting too crazy, but I'll take Denver 23-20.
Let's go, Jags. No. All right. This is another team that may haunt me all year. That's the Minnesota Vikings. Plus 3.5 on the road in Arizona here. Over under 51. Like I said, the Vikings were, when we were doing playoffs, the last team I threw in the NFC to make the playoffs. Picked them to win and cover, even locked them in against Cincinnati last week, obviously backfired. Now here they are getting 3.5 points on the road against Arizona. With that said, for the first time all year, I'm going to turn my back on the Vikings and I'm going to take Arizona here. My talks with Arizona is their offense was something I always trusted. I always believed they could put up points. They obviously went out and did that. Yes, it was against the Titans defense that has been very questionable the past year and a half or so, but they still found a way to put up the points. And Adam, you mentioned it last week too, though, you don't know where they get from this Vikings secondary. And the way Kyler Murray played last week, I think he has a chance to kind of beat up this Vikings secondary at home this week. And the way the Cardinals played defense last week was actually scary good too. Way more than I think anyone was expected. That was a good Titans offense that they stepped up to the challenge and shut down pretty well. Like I said plenty of times too, it's week one. I'm not trying to overreact too much, but based off what I seen last week, the way this game matches up, the Cardinals just have everything they need to beat the Vikings, especially at home in this one. Give me another strong game from Kyler Murray here, and the Cardinals win 27-20.
Yeah, I mean, I have been saying it for a while now. The Vikings secondary defense is just not good. It really isn't. They're second. Like Mike Zimmer knows it. He has said it in interviews that they just can't cover guys. And this is a horrible matchup for the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, you're talking about possibly the most explosive offense in the game. And give credit. I could be wrong with the Cardinals already week one. I mean, their defense is loaded. They got Chandler Jones, J.J. Watt, Isaiah Simmons, Budda Baker, and that offense, credit to their GM for putting this team together. And Gank, like you said, they stopped I think a very good Titans offense, and Derrick Henry, who hasn't really been stopped. Unfortunately for me, that led to a loss in fantasy. Hopefully that changes. But that being said, I think Arizona puts up way more points. I kind of like the over here. I think Minnesota has some success on offense, but I'm going to go 34-24 Arizona.
Yeah, we're all on the same page here. I think I was probably maybe the highest on the Cardinals. I have them in the playoffs at the NFC. Obviously wasn't expecting that Chandler Jones would have 5 sacks week one against Tannehill. But
is that how many he ended up with?
5 sacks.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And I will say this, though, on the Cardinals in that game. One of my locks was the over, missed by a point. They didn't score a point in the fourth quarter, and we had 2 missed field goals. So that's how that happened. Anyway, I think obviously the Cardinals offense is going to be explosive. I mean, we saw everyone on that offense. Obviously, D-Hop had a massive game. Christian Kirk had a good game. Rondell Moore had 5 catches for 50-something yards. A.J. Green, they have weapons, out the ass. So they're going to put up a lot of points. Obviously, Kyler he's probably top 3, obviously, after week one for MVP favorite. I think they're going to come out, and I think this is a horrible matchup for the Vikings. This could be a line that you look at and say overreaction from week one, but I'm a believer in the Cardinals. I think they get in the playoffs, and I think this is a game for Kyler Murray to come out and kind of show that this team didn't just have a fluke week one. I think they're going to follow it up. So I'm going to take the Cardinals 35-21.
There's a lot of games I like this week, which is scary. Scary. All right, Chaz, here are your Falcons. Picked right against them last week. I know we talked about pre-show with you. They were 11.5-point underdogs on the road in Tampa, over under 51.5. Can you get hot with this team this year?
Yeah, I said I didn't like going over 10 points, but I am 1,000% picking the Bucs here. It's not even close. Like I said, the Falcons made the Eagles defense look like one of the best defenses of all time. And the thing with the Falcons is, they're going to be in a lot of trouble if they continue this way. They were run first the entire game against the Birds. And as soon as they fell down and they couldn't run the football anymore, they fell apart. Matt Ryan just simply couldn't make throws. No one was getting open. Calvin Ridley had 3 catches for 50 yards on the first drive and then didn't have another catch after that. So my worry is that they're going to fall down quickly. Obviously, we saw that Bucs offense on Thursday night, what they can do. I think the Bucs are just going to put up a lot of points on this team. And the Falcons, once they get down, it's not like the Falcon team in years past where they can kind of stay in games, keep games close. I don't think this offense is good enough. So I'm going to take the Bucs I think it's going to be pretty ugly. I'm going to take them 35-13.
Wow. Yeah, I'm completely with you though, Chaz. This game, the only thing that scares me about this line is a possible backdoor cover. But even then, the Bucs defense, you can't run on them. It is wild how good they are against the run. Their secondary is not great, but they don't give up rushing yards. Even Zeke was contained very much so. But I like the Bucs here big. I don't have much on this. I'm with you. Bucs big, the Falcons probably might be picking first this year. based
Yeah.
on what I saw.
Very good odds. Yeah, very good odds.
And I don't think that's crazy to say. So I'm going to take the Bucks to win, blowout as well. I'll go 31-14 Tampa Bay.
Yeah, they're right. Ride the Bucks with you guys too. Also, no, as I said, yeah, Zeke did not get much going against that team. But to be fair, what I thought was strange, Dallas was in that game, and I just don't think they gave Zeke enough chances to maybe even give him a chance to get going. But with that said, we know Tampa Bay's defense is very good. Obviously coasted them along with Brady in that offense to Super Bowl victory last year. I do think Atlanta is a bounce back a little. This is a divisional game. It's a team they know. No, some week one rust, very possible. I do think their offense maybe starts to get going a little bit more. But when it's all said and done, Tampa Bay, especially in Tampa Bay, still too much for them. I'm right there with you guys. I got Tampa Bay winning and covering here. I'll go 35-20.
Bucks.
That said, that brings us into a Dallas team who Tampa Bay obviously beat on the game-winning field goal to start the season for us Thursday night last week. Dallas now 2.5-point road dogs in LA against the Chargers here. Over under 55.5, high over under. And the Cowboys over is something that I'm probably going to love all year. There's one thing I learned about this Cowboys team and this offense. When they are healthy, I don't care who the defense is. I just don't know if you can slow them down. The biggest question mark this Dallas team remains this defense, who just simply cannot get a stop when they need it most. Time after time, Dallas, literally no matter who they're playing, Tampa, Cleveland last year, the shit defenses of the whoever, Dallas will find a way to take a lead late, no matter what. But if you leave more than 30 seconds on the clock, that defense is going to blow it. And that's what's the biggest question mark for this Cowboys team. With that said, the defense still did find a way to force a couple turnovers against a good Tampa Bay offense. Granted, a couple of them probably bigger mistakes more on Tampa Bay's end than Dallas forcing them, but it's more than what I saw from that defense last year. So maybe this defense can turn around the right direction. I love Dallas plus 2.5 here. This offense stays clicking. The Chargers defense did look very good, but that was against the Washington offense that I think is suspect. I almost think Dallas's offense can score on anyone. I don't care who it is. With that said, I'm expecting big time shootout here. On the love overs in Dallas games all year, as I mentioned. Big time shootout here, but I got Dallas winning this game outright. I'll go 33-30.
Yeah, I looked at this game and, oh, man, I see it as a field goal game either way. I think it could be an incredible game to watch. I mean, Dallas is fun to watch. And again, get the down, they will put up points. It is not a matter of if, it's a matter of how much. And a matter of if their defense can make a play. This is a hard one for me because I don't want to
two teams that blow fourth quarter leads more than anyone recently. I feel
like I don't want to pick Dallas, but my gut tells me they're going to win this game, so I'm going to do it. I like them by a field goal here. The Chargers very easily could have lost that game against Washington, and now you're flipping the script on a completely different team with a great offense. So I'm not completely bought into them either, and the Chargers have had some bad losses recently, so I think they continue that. And Dallas, I think it was a huge, huge game for Dallas, even though they lost. Dak, you could see him post game. He knew that they were in the game against a very good team. So I'll take them to win. I love the points as well. I'm gonna go 34-31 Dallas.
Points. I'm gonna ride the points, but I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna take the Chargers here. I'm not gonna say I'm very confident. I'm higher on the Chargers this year than Dallas. Dallas is going to score. Obviously, no question about that. We saw it all last year before Dak got hurt. We saw it week one against a good Tampa defense. I think the Chargers offense last week, obviously they went against Washington in Washington, and I thought Washington was going to beat them. It was a really good game, but I think this Chargers offense is really good too. Obviously you guys do too. You guys think they're scoring in the 30s. But I think something tells me here that this Chargers team getting a home game. I think Dallas's defense, I think it's going to come down to who can make one play. And for that reason, I trust the Chargers to make that one play rather than Dallas. So I think it's going to be a close game. I think it might be one of the most fun games of the week. But I'll take the Chargers to get a win here over Dallas. But like we said, Dallas is going to score points and be in games all year. But I just like Justin Herbert and the Chargers a little bit more this week. So I'll go Chargers 33-27.
Well, my fantasy team's going to need all these points this week.
After that 110 spot.
Yeah. Dak and Mike Williams are all in the starting lineup this week. I'm down the Charger receiver duo. I have to. By the way,
let's big thing though. Austin Eckler not getting one target last week.
Yeah, that's kind of big, but he was playing on what many thought would have been a limited role too. I think he'll get those targets. Here's my other thing about that too, Chaz. I know you said Chargers home game, but I will almost guarantee that stadium's 75% Cowboys.
Oh yeah, you're right.
As LA always goes with some of the bigger teams going on the road there.
Yeah.
Well, branded teams, I should say. That's tough.
Yeah, like
if you're the Rams or the Chargers, when like the Cowboys, the Packers, the Steelers, the Bears like come to town, you're getting a road game at home.
Wild.
Yeah. All right, Adam. Speaking of fantasy teams, Titans in Seattle here. Titans 5.5 point dogs on the road. Another higher over under here at 53.5. Adam, we know your fantasy team may rely on the Titans offense, which is something I still think is good. We talked about the Cardinals defense already, maybe just better than we all thought. Regardless of that fact, how are the Titans going to bounce back this week?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that this is a homer pick. I just think you can't bail on that offense that quick. The Cardinals look like they came to play and they had something to prove, and they obviously proved it. But, Derrick Henry's too good to get stopped. I'm not buying that Seattle's defense is going to get up 16 points every week like they did to Indy. I don't think the Titans win this game, but I do think they cover this 5.5. I like it to be a really good game, just like that Cowboys-Chargers game. I love the points as well. Russ is going to cook for sure against this Titans D, because I just still do not buy them, even though they added a few guys in free agency. I think it's a fun game to watch. Seattle will be bumping back with fans, and I think they pull one out late here. But I think 5.5 is a little too much, and I wouldn't overreact too much to Seattle's win in Indy last week. So I'll go 31-27 Seattle.
Yeah, I'm actually with you on this one. Essentially all around, I actually almost want to pick the Titans to win this game. I'm just not going to do it because I know it's tough to go to Seattle and win, but I'm going to take them plus 5.5. And just like that Cowboys Chargers game, and just like you said, Adam, I think this is also going to be a very fun one to watch. No, we'll get some points. That 53.5 may be a little high. My final score has this going into the 50s. I actually have it going under, but no, we saw what Kyler Murray did against this Titans defense. I think Russ could put up almost similar numbers to that, answer that, do the same thing. With that said, Adam, I'm with you. I'm not bailing on the Titans offense. I mean, it's week one of a very long season. And even if they flop this week, I don't see it. Oh, well, but one way or another, I know this Titans offense could play. I know they have weapons. I know they'll figure it out. And this Seattle defense, that looked good against the Colts, but they look good against the Colts with Carson Wentz making his first career start in that offense anyway. So with that said, this Titans offense has been together longer than Carson and the Colts. Give me the Seahawks to win. Titans offense will figure it out. The Seahawks defense is not that good. That's what we saw last week. I don't buy that. Seahawks 27-24.
Yeah, I'm gonna ride it with you guys. The Titans plus 5.5. I think you're crazy if you're bailing on the Titans offense right now. Obviously, Derrick Henry's not gonna have a game like he had last week. I think, obviously, Tannehill just didn't play well. Julio had a tough game. AJ Brown, I know he scored, but this is a team that when Tannehill's been under center, they score points. And against a Cardinals team that we all expected for it to be fireworks, the Cardinals defense just came to play, and whatever reason, the Titans didn't come ready on the offensive side of the ball, and clearly not on the defensive side. We've talked about this for the last few years. It's been their Achilles heel to their success. And I mean, the Seahawks are going to score points, but I think if you're betting on the Titans not scoring points this week against the Seahawks defense that isn't great, I think you're crazy. So I think it's gonna stay close. I do think the over is maybe a little high. I think I could see it going over because the Titans I think are gonna score, but I'll take the plus 5.5 with more confidence. I'll take Seahawks winning, Titans covering 31-28.
AT need the big game.
I mean, come on, man. Like, dude, my team put up points. It just my couple guys, they just didn't show up. So I think they'll bounce back.
So I mean, to be honest, Adam, like the weeks I lost last year, I put up points. It was the weeks Aaron Rodgers decided to throw like one touchdown and not three. That's what happens. You'll get it. All right, Chaz. Ravens once again on prime time Sunday night this time in a massive week 2 Sunday night game. 3.5-point dogs at home. Your Ravens over under 55.5. To Pat Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Tough loss on Monday night, obviously. Do they bounce back?
Yeah, I mean, obviously yesterday was tough. I mean, my biggest thing is like Lamar played great in the first half. I mean, we all talked about that, but my biggest problem is their offensive line looked horrific and their defense looked depleted. And their defense is obviously Marcus Peters out for the year. Jimmy Smith didn't play. LJ Ford's out for the year. And you could just kind of tell that the players that we're used to seeing on the Ravens defense with these injuries just aren't there. I mean, the Raiders put up hung 33 on them. A little scared to see what the Chiefs are going to do. I mean, Marlon Humphrey and Patrick Queen can only make so many plays. Other guys are going to have to step up, and they just simply didn't do that yesterday. So obviously the Chiefs coming to town isn't a great thing. The Chiefs woke up in the second half, obviously last week against the Browns. So, I mean, this is a game that everyone's had circled. It's going to be a fun one. I mean, the over under is 55.5, and I think you take the over because what we saw on the Chiefs side is that they just didn't play any defense either. They let the Browns go right down the field every possession, and they're lucky they're the Chiefs because they can score in a blink of an eye. But I can't pick the Ravens to win this game right now after what I saw from the offensive line and the defense. So I will say I think Lamar, obviously with the last minute fumble, he tried to do too much. It kind of reminded me of his rookie year, but at the same time, I think he kind of had to yesterday because he had zero time in the pocket. Villanueva, their signing from the Steelers, was just dog shit. It wasn't a very good first game to watch as a Ravens fan, but I'm going to take the points. I'm going to take the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs cover too. 38-31 Chiefs.
Wow. Nice.
I'm all for that. All for that, Jazzy.
Nice.
Fireworks.
Chaz, I'm with you here, and no, I'm still not. I'm gonna pick the Chiefs to win this game. I'm actually not even gonna have them cover. I'm gonna have Baltimore cover. I'm not gonna touch a spread. When it comes to betting this game, I'm with you, Chaz. I'm gonna ride the over/under. With that said, before we go into too much details right now, I am still not fading Baltimore as my Super Bowl pick, but Chaz, I think you kind of hit it on the head. I mean, Raiders found a way to score some points. To be fair, I think the Raiders just may be better than what a lot of people are giving us credit for coming into this season too. That defense has a lot more talent on it that I didn't even know about. And, Ravens still found a way to score some points. And when it's all said and done, even looking at that Raiders defense, I almost think it has more talent than the Chiefs defense right now. So the Ravens should definitely be able to score points. When it's all said and done, though, I'm going to keep looking at the Pat Mahomes September numbers. The Ravens defense take a little more time than anticipated to maybe figure it out with their injuries, but I still think it has the talent to get it together and get it going. It's just bad timing for this game for the Ravens. I think it's still going to be close. Still going to be fun. Like I said, I even have the Ravens covering because of the hook. I got this game 31-28 Chiefs, but the Ravens, when it's all said and done, it's early, it's September. I picked the Ravens to win this, to get to the Super Bowl. If I want them to get to the Super Bowl, I don't think I need Lamar to beat the Chiefs now. I actually think I need them to take the loss right now. Let the Ravens figure it out and heat up because Lamar's have to beat them in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to take the Chiefs to cover here. I do think it's a really close game. The hook is scary. I completely agree. Gang, it's been a field goal game, no doubt. But I cannot. The Chiefs are just unbelievable. Like, they could play the worst 3 quarters ever and never be out of a game. It doesn't even matter. They can score. And for some reason, no one covers Travis Kelce in the red zone. They just let him wide open. I don't understand what that game plan is, but they just leave the guy wide open. I played him in 2 leagues this fucking week. Either way. I see this as a touchdown game. I think it's a good game. I like Lamar to put up some points as well. You guys talked a lot about everything. You know, I agree with most of what you said. I can't pick the Chiefs to lose this game, and I don't think the Ravens cover here. But I do think it's a close one. And they fall to 0-2, but I'm not too concerned. Raiders defense looked really good. Chaz, this Ravens offensive line might be some of the worst they've had under Lamar, so that could be a problem going forward. But I like a lot of points. I'll take 35-28 Kansas City.
And the offensive line thing, I don't know if it's they have the names, they have the guys. I don't know if it's because of the first game. I don't know what. Hopefully they can figure it out, but it is a lot of new pieces. It's not the same offensive line they've had, so hopefully they can figure it out. But I think Gank hit on the head. I think the Chiefs coming week 2 is just horrible timing, especially with all the injuries. Yeah. But I will say, bright spot, Tyson Williams looks good, yeah. But he also only had 9 fucking carries, so give him the rock.
Give him the rock.
Give him the rock.
I would love to see him get the rock.
I mean, he just simply has to have more than 9 carries.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
Greg Roman, let's figure it out.
Run the ball.
Who they get the star for me in my one fantasy league, though? And I mean, I had that league.
In a game that's going to have all these points.
I'm going to start him.
Yeah, against the Chiefs.
Get
him in there.
He may be starting for me in both my leagues this week. I just haven't fully decided that yet. All right, one last game here, Monday Night Football. Detroit heading to Green Bay. Green Bay, 11.5-point favorites at home. Over under 48.5. This is where they go to you, Chaz, and we talk about how once you get over 10 points, how it gets scary. And this is how I feel about this game right here coming in. I'm going to take Green Bay to win this game with ease and so look comfortable. But after what I saw last week, I'm not going to lay 11.5 points right now. I'll take Detroit plus 11.5 and probably in an almost similar style. Just watch them go down by 30 and have them find a way to backdoor recover this. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is coming off literally what may be the worst game of his career. And now he's got a chance to come out against his defense, who lost Okudah. Now all of a sudden your secondary is weak and Aaron Rodgers has a big chance to come out, just sling the rock. Monday night prime time. We know this is kind of when Aaron Rodgers is at his best. Give me the Packers to win this one. They're going to score points. That 11.5 scares me because I saw enough from the Lions where I know they can score points. And Jared Goff, as you said, Chaz, could be the new Blake Bortles this year, where just his fourth quarter backdoor cover and fantasy numbers could be a big thing and keep an eye on. Packers win with ease. Score is going to show closer than it is as Detroit comes back late. But give me the Pack right here, 35-24.
Yeah, again, I mean, just like the Bucs line, the only thing that scares me here is the backdoor cover, like it was or almost was last week, depending on what the line you got for the Lions. I think they'll score. The Lions will score points this year. It seems like Jared Goff has put up points in this league. Offensively, they have a few guys that can make plays. I didn't know they lost Okudah, their corner. That is just exactly what they did not need. The defense wasn't bad enough. I mean, done for season. Achilles.
Oh
my God. Yeah, I I think Rodgers could have an all-time first half. I mean, the dude coming off of bad games has been incredible in his career, especially a little pissed off. Guy played the whole season pissed off on MVP. So I'm going to take the Packers to win here. I think they actually do cover the 11.5 just because it's a divisional game and they saw it happen last week. They don't want that to happen. Packers D shows up. But I would be concerned with the backdoor cover. I'll go 35-20 Green Bay.
Yeah, I'm going right back to I'm going to take the Lions to cover here. Over 10 is scary. Obviously, we saw nothing from Green Bay last week. And I mean, everyone in America is expecting bounce back game written all over it. And I think we're going to get it. But like we talked about in the pre-show and what Gank just said, I think this Lions team is going to be a lot like the Jaguars team we saw a few years ago. That is just, they're going to be bad. They're going to get beat down the first half, and then they're going to make a comeback in the second because that's just how they're going to be programmed. They're going to score points late against defenses that are kind of have their foot off the pedal. I think obviously the Packers are going to win this game. I don't think that's going to be in any question, but Jared Goff and we saw the Lions. I mean, they have enough playmakers to put up points, and Green Bay's defense just let up 38 to the Saints. So I think it's going to stay close. I'm going to take the Pack to win 33-24.
Seeing Aaron Rodgers to get me more than 2 fantasy points this week, baby.
It said he was he had the 35th most points for quarterbacks this week. And only in 32 teams.
Justin Fields had more.
Because that's how he, yeah.
Fields had that tutty.
Mariota had more because he had 35-yard rush.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he did.
What would it bet to be that Marcus Mariota had more fantasy?
Oh my God.
And Aaron.
You could have put $1 on it. You'd be rich.
I think he definitely had more coming in for Fitz. Yeah, it's unbelievable. All right, Adam. Well,
what are we betting, Yank? I forget what we disagreed on, honestly.
Don't worry, I got this one.
I feel like there's like a lot.
Yeah, no, I got this one this week. And
what he wants.
Here's the thing, Adam. The one I'm giving you, Traz technically backed you on, but
which one?
Here's where it's at. Like we said, we come in. We're just gonna go head-to-head record. $100 per man, best record end of the season.
Yep.
Adam begged me for the Giants week 1. I gave it to him. Adam's want to know.
Don't be a homer. Don't be a homer pick.
So essentially, I'm going to come in here week 2 with something that I'm going to give Adam. And then, as the season goes on, we'll actually start talking them through and giving them back and forth. But first couple of weeks, so we'll just pick one off the bat. Well, I'm telling you right now, Adam, you're taking the Texans plus 12.5 in Cleveland. The second you disagreed with that, I'm like, all right, I'm coming back to this one.
Wow. I did not see that coming. I didn't even remember that. Oh my God. All right. Fair enough. I mean, I guess I got to give that to you, but that is just outrageous.
We'll talk it through the rest of the season.
All right, that's fine.
You said I'm picking this one. That's the one I'm going to pick. We disagreed on it. The second it happened, I knew it.
All right. I got Chazzy with his Texans, right?
Hey, you got a lot of points. You got a lot of points with that game, too. Yeah, to be fair. Fair.
All right. Well, looks like I got a reason to watch that game now.
All right. With that said, we will get into our locks. As mentioned at the start of the show, guys, we're notorious slow starters. 2-7 might have been the slowest start we ever had in week 1. Do have an extra week. Let's try to bounce it back this week, Chaz. Starts with you. I know you're in Florida. I know the lines ain't in front of your face. Any questions, feel free.
Yeah, I might need exact numbers, but first one I'm going to take, and we joked about it in the beginning, but I'm actually going to lock in the Bears -3.
Oh, wow.
I really like that. Andy Dalton revenge game, baby. Secondly, I'm going to take the Jets. I believe they're plus 5.5.
That is correct.
All right, Jets plus 5.5.
Okay.
And then my third one, I'm going to take the Panthers plus whatever they were.
They were 3.5.
All right, there's my 3.
Wow. Against my Saints. Unbelievable. You guys are never gonna learn, man.
We'll come back next week.
All right. Tell you right now, that's the worst lock. I think I've hated that lock more than I've ever hated Chaz's lock ever, possibly.
I can believe that.
All right, so
I like it though.
Come on, Yank. Let's go Panthers.
Let's go. Win the game.
All right.
CMC's gonna have 4 touchdowns.
am I up, Gank?
Yes, sir.
All right. So first off, give me Cards minus 3.5 against the Vikings. I don't see how the Vikings keep that game close, but maybe I'm crazy. I'm also going to take that under 50.5 with the Niners Eagles game. I think the Eagles defense shows up. I don't think the Niners offense is going to put up 40 points like it did last week. And I think 50.5 is way too much for that game. And then I am going to go, even though it's a lot of points here, give me the Bucks minus 11.5. I just don't see how that game is close. And Brady, divisional game, he won't take it lightly. The guy just wins in division, and I will take that every day of the week.
Oh, you took two. You took 2 of my bigger ones there, Adam. I was loving Arizona and that Philly under.
Yeah.
With that said, I will go right back to mine Adam's bet and I'll put it on the locks. I am taking Cleveland minus 12.5.
Oh, come on.
I see this being a runaway game for the Browns. Sorry, Adam, I have to lock it.
All right.
You're rooting against it all you want, but I had to.
All right.
Game was circled from the start. Pick number 2, I'm going to go to Dallas and Los Angeles. As much as I want to go the over, I still love the over in that. I'm going to take the thing I like more because I have Dallas win that game outright. So I'll take them plus the 2.5 points. Instead of that, I do like the over in that. I think people should follow through with that one too. And third and final, Adam, you're going to make me look picking last year. Those 2. Third and final, I'll go to Indy. I'll take the Rams minus 4.
I like that one.
Adams Rams right there. Forgot to write that one down, but I forgot I also like that one a lot. Picking last, I usually have a long list, knowing that a lot of things are crossed before it gets to me.
Rams can be scary. Rams can be scary. If they click offensively, whew.
Yeah, that's it. All right, boys. Adam, our bet's in. We'll go back to normal next week. Chaz, congrats again on the engagement.
Yeah.
And gentlemen, we got another week of football incoming. Until next week.
Peace.